Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a Q&A girl talk video. I asked y'all to ask me some questions on Instagram right here. With that being said, we're just gonna go ahead and get started with today's video. It's like a little hangout session with my girlies, you know? Or boys, whatever boys are on here, just a hangout sesh. How do you stay motivated for the gym? Really short and simple answer. I've talked about it a lot. I'm sure there's gonna be another question that's gonna prompt me to answer it. But you have to rely on discipline, not motivation. Motivation's very short term. Self-discipline is long term. Motivation's gonna get your foot out of the door, but the discipline of doing something every day even though you don't want to do it or you don't feel like doing it or you're too tired to do it is what's going to take you to your destination and your goals and where you want to be. So you can't rely on motivation. Maybe one day out of 10 days I'm actually motivated to go, but all of the 9 other days I don't feel like doing it, and I do it anyways because I know that it's good for me. It's going to help me long term. For motivation though, I like to ask myself what my dream self would do. Future me is not missing out on that day of the gym because I'm too tired, you know? What would you have done differently if you could go back to high school? Honestly, nothing. I think that everything happens for a reason. There's not anything that I would change in my life, even the bad things, except for like people passing away and stuff, that I think that I would take back, because even if something's really bad, it's a pivotal point in my life that I needed to go through to get to where I'm at now. All of our life experiences make us who we are, and when you look at life in the way of everything happens for a reason, it's a lot easier for things to happen in our life and for us to move forward and pretend like they didn't happen. But when you are courageous enough to look at it like this happened for a reason, let me figure out why this is happening so I can move forward from it. Honestly, life gets easier when you think of things that way and don't sit on things for too long, because you can't control anything that's happened in the past, but you can control everything you do moving forward and how you think of it. So nothing. I wouldn't change anything about my past. What are some things you can do to get out of the funk / feeling like you're living the same day over and over? Honestly, to do something different every day. Like something super small that's different. Changing something super small can change your whole entire day. For example, I have been living the same day over and over again. I was literally just in a funk for the last like 3 weeks coming back from Texas because I was like, oh my god, I have my own place, I can make my own rules, like what do I do, you know? I was so used to not having a routine back in Texas whenever I was living out of a suitcase for a month and a half visiting my family because I didn't have a routine, that when I got back I was like, oh fuck, I need to have a routine again, and I need to be doing things and being more productive and putting myself back on a pedestal after not putting myself on a pedestal for a few months or for a few weeks. How I got out of that little funk that I was in was I was going to bed really late and then I was waking up really late, and whenever I wake up late it ruins my whole day, and I've gotten better about not letting it ruin my whole day, but in terms of the time slot for me to get things done and also go to bed at a decent time, it ruins that part of it. If I wake up at 11 a.m. then I only have X amount of hours until the sun sets to get X amount of things done, and if I have a lot to get done that day and I wake up late, I'm not getting it all done simply because of time. Things started to change when I was doing the same thing over and over again, and then one day I was like, you know what, why not do my laundry today? I didn't do my laundry. My laundry's been piling up. I'll just do my laundry. I had a pretty standard basic being in a funk type of day, and then the next day I was like, okay, I did my laundry. Today I'm gonna do my dishes and I'm gonna go to the gym. And then I did my dishes and went to the gym, and then laid in bed, watched Gossip Girl for a little bit. Next day I woke up earlier, I went to the gym, I cooked dinner, I finished editing, and then from there on it's just a snowball effect of like, okay, now I'm getting things done again. I'm enjoying this rewarding feeling from getting things done. I'm able to get past the mental block of I can't get up, because I feel like most of the time when I get in a funk, it's when I'm starting to rely on motivation over discipline and thinking that I need to want to do things to get them done, but that's just not true. If you can get yourself to get up, you'll most likely do it if you're like me. All it took was doing one thing differently and it turned into doing everything differently. Hopefully that helps. I don't know if that's good advice. That's my best way to get out of a funk. That's how I recently just got out of a funk. I need a step-by-step guide to loving yourself. P.S. Affirmations don't work for me. I could make a whole deep dive video on how to love yourself separately to this one if y'all want. Let me know in the comments. But one thing that I will say, which isn't going to be an exact answer for this question because I feel like this is a loaded question, but one of the biggest realizations that I had that pushed me that much further into the self-love journey that I've been going through and am still going through: if you don't love you, how are other people going to love you? Because how you love yourself is how you teach other people to love you. I spent a lot of my life thinking that I needed to be loved by other people to distract myself from loving myself. So I spent so much time trying to get other people's attention, trying to be be what they wanted me to be or what they might like. XYZ that I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I didn't know who I was. I didn't love myself. I was mirroring back what felt right based on my environment. And it shouldn't work like that. You have to love yourself before not only other people can love you in the way that you deserve to be loved, but also so then you can love other people from the capacity of love that comes from within, which is very important. And fun fact, a lot of self-love comes from self-discipline. I feel like self-discipline is the #1 form of self-love. So if you don't currently love yourself and you're brave enough to admit that, I feel like the first place that you should look towards is, what are you doing on your days? Are you having disciplined, productive days, or are you falling short and not holding yourself to a certain standard that you should be holding yourself to? I feel like the start of my self-love journey and loving myself primarily came from changing my routine and what I'm doing every day. And the more accomplished I felt from doing these things out of discipline and not motivation, the more that I loved myself, because I was doing all these things for me and they were all healthy, good things. So then I was like, I mean, I'm not hurting myself. Like, I didn't feel guilty for loving myself like I do whenever I go on a shopping spree for retail therapy, or eating 2 tubs of ice cream while I'm watching Gossip Girl at night after a day of not doing anything productive. You know what I mean? So little things like that. The first step I would say is changing how you view self-love. What are a couple things that you struggle with? This is a good question. Okay, I'll try to give you an open up, and I will. I think a lot of the basic things like insecurity and huge thing that I struggle with, which I've recently gotten out of, but it was really bad when I was in Texas. That's when it started, and then it kind of ended. Like, as of this week, I got out of that headspace that I was in because of it. But one thing I struggle with is I feel like hate comments affect me so badly, and you're not supposed to say that online, because people that are hating on you obviously want you to feel bad, and then you admit that you're feeling bad and they're not gonna stop. They want you to feel bad. But I am saying it out loud anyways, because at the end of the day, if people aren't hating, you're doing something wrong. And simple as that. Like, that's just the world we live in. People are gonna hate, people are gonna say shit, and most of the things people don't actually even mean, and most of the time it's people deflecting their own problems or their own negativity or how they feel about themselves onto you. So you can't take it personally, because at the end of the day, you're not leaving a hate comment, they're leaving a hate comment. They're taking time to comment something mean towards you, to hurt your feelings. Something's wrong with them. You know what I mean? But I will say I was struggling. It was affecting my productivity. It was affecting how I viewed myself. It was affecting my routine, my sleep schedule. Like, it was bad. I don't know why. It's something that comes with being online, and it just is. Doesn't make it right, but it just is. People are gonna say stuff. You're putting something on a public platform. There's how many people in this world that are looking through content and watching things online? People are gonna form opinions. That's on them, you know? Another thing that I struggle with, this one's more random. Keep in mind, as I go through these things that I struggle with, I'm actively working on them. I'm saying them out loud to be self-aware and also to let y'all in more, but also if I'm saying it out loud, I am working on it. And some things might be to a higher extent than others. Yeah, anyways, whatever. Me being scared to be like vulnerable about normal stuff. One thing that I really struggle with, that I pretend that I don't struggle with, but I do. I feel like separating my past self from my current self. There's so much growth that's happened in such a short period of time. Like, this year, 2023, was a huge growing year for me, that I feel like I get in my head a lot. I'll question like my kindness, I'll question my character, and like, I know I'm a good person. I know that I'm a kind person, and not that I wasn't those things before, but I definitely have grown a lot from how I used to act. I think the biggest thing is consideration. I'm a lot more considerate than I used to be. I feel like, not even feel like, I know, not I feel like, I know. A big part of that is I'm very observant of other people, and I feel like I know I've grown so much, and I know other people can tell that I've grown so much too, because a lot of things are different about me. But at the same time, there's always going to be those people that are like, you can't grow that much, or they've never experienced what it's like to change so much in such a short period of time. I used to be super negative. Now I am the complete opposite. I always reframe my thoughts, and I make a negative thought something positive, and I always find a way to like get through that negativity. There's a lot of positive little changes. Like, it's nothing that's like huge, but like, it is big to me, because I feel like going from a negative mindset to a positive one, and being more considerate of others, little things like that are a big thing. But since I'm so observant of other people, and I'm like always thinking, do they still see me as that person? Is like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always overthinking what other people think about about growth I've made and changes I've made in my life. And I've been in the process of fixing that, because why does it matter what anyone else thinks about the growth I've had and how much I've moved forward, especially if it's negatively? That's not a reflection of the growth I've made. It's not a reflection of how good of a person I am. Like, there's no need for validation, and that's a huge part of the current journey that I'm on, is accepting myself more. It's important to trust your own opinion on things and trust your own intuition and not have to ask for someone's validation of that. And I feel like sometimes I look for others' validation for certain things, but it's like, no, Reagan, just trust yourself. Like, you got this. You are your own person. You don't need other people's opinions to know whether something is right or wrong. Do what feels right to you and what you're comfortable doing, what you like doing. So that's another thing that I struggle with. Ooh, I struggle with, and I am working on too, but this one's been something that I've done my whole entire life, not just now. So it's obviously taken me quite a bit longer to break through this, but I am a perfectionist so badly. Like, it is okay to be perfectionist, and that's where a lot of my favorite work that I've done and content that I've created has come from, but also sometimes it holds me back, and sometimes I sit on something too long because I need it to be perfect, when in reality nothing needs to be perfect. Just make it you. I'm not perfect. I need to accept that not everything is going to be perfect. It's awesome when something can be perfect, but some things are just meant to not be perfect, and that's okay. That's fine. I'll definitely touch back more to that question moving forward, because that's a good idea. And they put in parentheses, I feel like this would be empowering for your fans. And like, yeah, I should be more open about little things like that. What's your opinion on once a cheater, always a cheater? Yes. And in very rare occasions, no. I do believe that people change, but it's not until they want to change. And sometimes people do change, but also sometimes people don't. I don't know. Like, yeah, once a cheater, always a cheater, but like, I don't know. This is a hard question, because in my opinion, if anyone ever cheated on me, and this is coming from past experiences, because I have not done this before in my lifetime, and that's why moving forward, it's like, oh yeah, definitely. If someone cheats on me, I'm done. You'll never hear from me again. Simple as that. And I will get over it. I'll probably forgive you too, but you're still probably never hear from me again. And you definitely will never ever be with me again. That's how I feel. So honestly, I don't really spend too much time trying to figure out answer to this question of once a cheater, always a cheater, because you cheat once and you're done forever. Y'all, this is self-tan. I just realized that's right there. What is your motivation to stay consistent every day? The price that I have to pay of not doing what I need to do right now is my dream life. That's my motivation. You either make it or you don't. One day it will be too late, because time exists and it keeps going. No matter what rut you're in, no matter what you're going through, time is going to move forward. You have to move forward with it. Is constant complaining a good enough reason to end a friendship, in your opinion? Yeah. In my opinion, anything that's robbing me from any type of peace, that is something negative about another person, is valid for you to not want someone to be in your life. You know, if they do those things. With that being said, I still think that you need to make sure that there's like communication there, and that you express those feelings for the most part. But if something's robbing your peace, get rid of it, in my opinion. But also, there's things that you can do before you just end a friendship, and you can communicate and then evaluate their actions moving forward from the initial communication. And then if something doesn't change, you gave a heads up. You know, you don't need to give more than one. You asked for something to be changed, it wasn't changed, choose your peace. All-time favorite Drake song. I was waiting for a question like this. Here's a few. And we're gonna blaze up.
I had someone tell me I fell off. Ooh, I needed that. That's just something they know. Since they missed the whole Drake, girl, don't tempt me if they don't get it. I can name a lot of things that the other man won't do for you. I mean that pussy be ain't not popping.
This verse.
Maybe being part of this life, I feel like I'm bound to end up with somebody that's been with everybody. I need you to rescue me from my destiny. Girl, I do the unthinkable. Smoke got me talking in Dutch. She creaming on me, I'm a crush. I don't even need a deluxe. You give me that shit and I'm sad.
Honestly, let's sit back. Let's chill. How to let go of resentment for bad/ex friends. Honestly, the best answer you're gonna get from this is my last YouTube video, because I deep dived on this topic. Anyone going through a breakup, whether it's friendship or relationship, definitely watch my letter to myself for 2023 video, because I answer that question to the fullest extent. Favorite weed strands. Honestly, probably hybrid, just because sometimes sativa and indica are just too strong for me, and I get paranoid or I get nervous. and I start overthinking everything. I feel like it's mostly indica that makes me like that, because it's like right before I go to bed. I don't know, I mean, it's rare cases anyways. I like all of the strands. Hybrids just like in between. I feel like I can just like smoke that whenever. What's your least favorite kind of girl best friend or girl in general? I wouldn't necessarily answer this question in terms of like just girl. I'll answer it in terms of what my least favorite kind of person is, just because like I love women and I love men too. Like I love everyone. It would be more of a general statement. So my least favorite kind of person is someone who's very negative. I can't stand being around people who are just so negative and drain the life out of you. Also, it's very easy to become your environment, so I try to be away from anyone who is super negative. I choose peace every time. I will choose my own peace. And if you are negative, people who can't take accountability, that's huge. It is a beautiful thing to be able to be vulnerable with someone and say, hey, I messed up. And a lot of people are scared of it and fearful of owning up to things that they've done or taking accountability. But I feel like that's where a lot of my major growth came from as a person, was whenever I was able to hold myself accountable for my actions and be more self-aware. Ooh, also people who are stuck up. I do not like when people act stuck up or like they're too good for other people around you. We are all humans living on a rock. It's really not hard to be a decent person and to be kind to people around you and helpful towards other people instead of prejudging people and thinking that you're better than them. That's a horrible way to think. To constantly be in competition with people around you and see the bad side of everything, like that must be exhausting. It's exhausting thinking about. So it's definitely something that I don't tolerate being around. Like I won't do it. I have zero tolerance for just mean people. Ooh, okay, to add on to that, especially people that are prideful of it. There's a difference between being confident and cocky, and it's a really big difference. Humility is sexy. Where are you planning to live in Texas? A house or an apartment? Probably an apartment for the first year, I would say, but definitely bigger goal is the house. I think first living in an apartment, because that's what I'm used to in Texas, which I'm not used to because I haven't lived in Texas for years. I've been living in LA. It'd be nice to get acclimated to my environment again and like resettled in as a newer version of myself, and then get a house, just because there's a big difference between the two. And I want a house when I'm like at a specific part in my life that I can't really explain, but I can picture. Not that I don't think that I'll be there sometime soon. I have full belief in myself, but I want to do things the right way, and I feel like the right way would to not jump into something so big like a house and start off with an apartment while I grow in the environment first, you know? Best way to approach someone you're interested in? Honestly, just by being straight up. I feel like confidence is sexy, and so is vulnerability and being able to express how you feel despite an outcome, because there's always that chance that that person might not feel the same as you. The worst thing they're gonna say is that they don't feel the same way as you, and then what, you move forward, and that's just not a part of your life's journey. That's not what's needed to happen right now. Everything happens for a reason, you know? Best way to approach someone you're interested in is to just approach them and tell them. No need to like play games, no need to overthink it, because it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of your world, because you're whole by yourself. Someone said, what razors do you use for down there? It's a little personal, but I'd love to try out new ones. I get Brazilian waxes, actually. I used to shave and I could never get like a good shave. I like it to be smooth, personally, my preference, and so I just wax it all off. And I go to European Wax Center. How do you make girlfriends nowadays? But I also am in my staying in my own lane era. Good question, because honestly, it can be a struggle sometimes, especially when you're very independent, to find others that are willing to accept your independence while also cherishing you as a friend and not letting that come in between y'all's friendship. Honestly, I feel like whenever I'm making girlfriends, I look for particular traits, like independence being one of the biggest characteristics. I overall like to be around very independent people because I'm so independent, that are productive and get things done. They're bosses, like boss women, but also don't take themselves too seriously. That's like my type of people that I like to be surrounded by. That list is still growing. I really haven't been putting myself out there that much because I am so independent with making friends, but it's something that I've been trying to work on, something that I want to do more of. So I'm sure within the next few months, especially with me moving to Texas and being in a new environment and not knowing as many people, it'll force me to get out of my shell and venture out more and make new friends. I don't know how to make friends, guys. I really don't know. I feel like it just happens. Like, just trust that people will be introduced into your life when you need them to be introduced into your life, you know? I'm so sorry that I couldn't answer that question. I really thought that I was on the roll with something, but I guess I wasn't. Good question. Wow. Have you ever thought about quitting weed? Yeah, I've thought about it. Sometimes I have phases where I'm smoking cannabis and I'm super productive and it helps me, and then sometimes I'll have phases where it does the opposite, and during those phases when it's doing the opposite and I'm getting unproductive and lazy, I quit it. If it starts taking away from your routine, I feel like it's important to get yourself to quit and get off of it, just because then it's taking something from you. But mostly now I smoke towards the end of the day, if I do, and it's only to help me go to sleep. Things you feel like we all should work on: being more vulnerable with our peers and letting more people in despite what other people might think. I feel like we all could act more as a community rather than being in competition with each other and lift each other up more instead of tearing down. The world feels very negative lately, and being more self-aware too. I feel like self-awareness is probably the best quality that a person can have, in my opinion. But self-awareness without action is nothing. Self-awareness and also actively changing the things that you need to change, you know? Advice on how to feel confident and beautiful without makeup, especially going in public. I feel like the biggest thing for me, because I obviously get insecure time to time as well, if I'm not wearing makeup, I try to, not for other people, but more for myself. I look at it as an act of love or an expression of love towards myself. But if I'm not wearing makeup, I want to make sure that like my hair is clean, my skincare is done, I have moisturizer on, and I smell good. Those little things, I feel like I only get really insecure without makeup when I'm not put together, and it's important to be put together, I think, for ourselves, not for other people. This is our one body that we get, and we each have our own, so why not treat it with respect and care? That doesn't necessarily mean wearing makeup, but I got a lot more confident whenever I was doing my full skincare routine every day, morning and night, and having moisturized, hydrated skin. My hair was neat and brushed through and all of that, and not so that I could make a better impression on other people, but so that I could feel more me. You know, people tell you like clean space, clean mind, clean environment, clean mind. This space is just important as this space. So if I'm going to be consistent and on a routine and have a consistently cleaned room and I'm actively achieving my goals XYZ, I think it's very important that I'm taking care of myself too, and that will show not from me not wearing makeup, but from how I present myself, not to other people, but to myself in the mirror. What's something you wish you knew in high school? That after high school you're not gonna know half of the people, so focus on what's important, which is school, and not the people around you, because yes, that's a huge part of your life for that moment, but once it's gone, it's gone. There's no need to impress those people when you're not gonna know them in a few years. I feel like I spent a lot of high school trying to impress other people, and I only hurt myself by doing so. But on a brighter side, being out of high school and not trying to impress other people and caring more about impressing myself, I'm kind of glad that I went through that phase, because now I burnt out of it really fast and it was miserable, and I feel like that had to happen for me to not want to do that again, and it happened, and now it doesn't really matter who I impress if I'm not impressing myself. Do you ever take tea breaks, and has weed ever caused you to feel unmotivated? I do take tea breaks. I take a lot of tea breaks. A tea break is a tolerance break, by the way, in case anyone didn't know, but it's definitely made me unmotivated too sometimes. Again, I mostly do it whenever I'm getting ready for bed and I want to get sleepy and I'm not tired yet, or I have trouble falling asleep. But with that being said, it makes me sleepy, and if I do it during the day and then I get unmotivated, then I try to shy away from smoking as much during the day. How do you handle a situationship? I'm in my first one and I need help. Y'all are probably not gonna like my answers because it's just based on how I think of things, or maybe y'all will, because I mean, why else would someone ask a question, you know? But run from situationships. Like, don't handle it. You should never have to like handle a relationship with someone, or a friendship with someone, or a situationship with someone. In my head, situationship means you're with someone in every way except for the title, in my head, based on my experience. And I feel like that's just not fair to yourself to be doing so much for another person and to mean so much to another person without being able to have that title. I feel like that's a really important part of it. It's a huge form of commitment. That's my personal opinion though. So how do you handle situationship? You don't. Girl, why do I like someone but when they like me back I lose interest immediately? I used to be like that. I would like someone because I romanticized them to be a certain way. I made every interaction that we had way bigger than it was, so whenever I actually start talking to them and they start liking me back, I've gotten turned off because I realized they're not the person that I imagined them to be, but I imagined them to be that way. I wasn't looking at the actual person and who they are and unbiasedly viewing them. It's really easy when you view someone and you like them to romanticize them. So maybe observe that and see if that's something that you do. When I stopped romanticizing people though, I stopped liking as many people, and I started facing this problem a lot less because I was not putting people on this pedestal that they're not at. I let them show me who they are, and if I don't like it, then I don't like it, and that's that. What is the main goal you want to achieve in 2024? In terms of like content and stuff, I would say to get to a level where I would consider myself a YouTuber, because right now I feel like I'm like a TikToker, or I do social media, I'm an influencer, but YouTube feels more official, and I think that's why I gravitate towards it. It's also what I've always pursued since I was a kid. It was always YouTube videos that I was making, but really to be established on YouTube, which I'm in a working progress towards right now, but just at a higher level. And then I have a lot of main goals because the whole moving to Texas thing is a big one. A goal for that area of my life would be to be settled into my apartment and to make it something of my own. I haven't done that yet with an apartment. I haven't gotten the furniture that I loved and decorated it. I haven't done it for any of my apartments. I've gotten little things and I've done tiny things, but there's always something missing. I want my next place to be a home where I can call home, where I can have people over, where I can accommodate guests. I want my next place to feel hotel-like, like people come and it's like refreshing and calming and cozy. I want it to be like my friends' getaway from their environment and just to be in a new setting, and I want it to feel new for not just myself but other people too. So that's another big goal of mine. I have a lot of goals for next year. I don't really have like just one that I'm focused on. It's like I don't just want to be doing one or the other. I want to do all of them. I think one of my vlogmas videos is definitely going to be like my New Year's resolutions, my goals, 2024 vision board, and like what I want 2024 to be like. So I will deeper dive onto this one as well. But the two things that I can think of off the top of my head is the YouTube goal and the Texas apartment goal, because those are things I've just been really heavily preparing for recently, although all of my goals are in the process and being tailored to as well. But those two specifically are huge for right now going into the new year. How do you fight the urge to overshare your real shit problems with your girlfriends? Because I be giving it all away. This is my unpopular opinion, and this is just how I act in friendships. I will tell most of my friends most of everything, but there is a great amount of things that I do keep to myself. I am a believer that you don't have to share every little detail with your friends for y'all to be friends. I think it's important to have moments and experiences and things for yourself, to yourself, not in a greedy way, but also because we are all living our individual lives as well as lives with each other around, and it's very important to be able to be an individual, and I think a lot of little moments make up that individuality. I don't think that I really have an urge to tell things that I don't want to tell. I think I sort through my mind. I obviously tell like the most important things and like little things too here and there, and I think we all have so many layers to our lives and who we are as people, and you can still tell someone a lot without telling them everything. I've told a lot of people a lot of things about me because I'm pretty much an open book, but at the same time there are little things that are like my things that I get to like hold on to, and recognizing that that's important too is a big step in one, becoming an individual, but two, not having an urge to overshare with people. Top 3 favorite habits you've incorporated into your routine. Number 1, drinking water. Drinking a gallon a day, which is healthy and safe as long as you're spacing it out, not doing it all at once. Also, I do work out every single day, so I'm sweating a lot of that out. Drinking water is big. It's improved my focus throughout the day. It's improved my function throughout the day. It's improved my eating habits. Like, drinking water has changed a lot, and it's a little thing that makes a really big difference. Number 2, going to the gym every day. For a very obvious reason, it not only improves my physical appearance, but my mental as well. It also helps me stay more productive because if I'm working out, I usually work out very first thing. Like, I'll wake up in the morning and I'll go put on workout clothes and go straight to the gym. It gives me a sense of accomplishment in the beginning of my day, which allows me to do more throughout the day because it's such a good feeling getting that done and doing weightlifting in the morning that I want to keep feeling that throughout my day and feel that level of satisfaction, and I get that by being more productive. And then number 3, having a good sleep schedule, getting 8 hours of sleep every night, huge. I'm a really hard sleeper when I'm sleep deprived. Like, I will not even wake up to a fire alarm when I'm sleep deprived, but whenever I'm getting a consistent good amount of sleep, I'm a light sleeper and I wake up to my alarms times, and I'm on a routine and I get more done throughout the day. And the sleep thing honestly is like number one. Like drinking water and going to the gym is super important too, but getting enough rest throughout the day and giving your body rest is huge. You work out better. Gym related, it gives time for your muscles to grow. You have more energy throughout the day. You're happier throughout the day because you're not tired. Literally, sleep is so big, and honestly was the start of changing everything for me. Like that was the huge start, was being on a good sleep schedule. What do you do if you keep communicating with a man but he keeps doing things? Break up with him. If you have to repeatedly, and keep in mind all the advice that I give, it's because I also live up to these standards. I'm not giving y'all advice for things that I don't do or things that I don't stand on. I'm basing it all off how I think, what I do, what I would do, what I've done. But walk away, because if you are communicating something to someone, it's obviously important to you. By them not making changes to what you've communicated shows that they aren't caring to make changes to something that's important to you. You know what I mean? And that's disrespecting you. And a lot of the times I feel like when you're talking to someone, they feel like something that I've been through a lot is communicating something to someone and them pushing it to the side, and then they still like press those boundaries and see how much more they can get away with, and how much more and how much more, and the more that you let them get away with, the more that they do, and then in the end they end up hurting you and you get hurt because you communicated and communicated and communicated, didn't see any changes, but it's on you because you communicated, they didn't change. And like that shows enough for itself that they're not willing to make changes for you, they're not willing to fix things for you, which is a them thing, not a you thing, but also it's disturbing your peace. Break it off. How to know if a boy likes you. Okay, there's very obvious ways, like them being considerate towards you, them laughing at your jokes, if they talk to you a lot, etc. But the way that I'm going to answer this question is by saying only listen to actions, guys. It does not matter what a guy tells to you. I feel like if a guy truly likes you, they will tell you that they like you. I have stopped trying to like take notes of what guys are doing to see if they like me or not, and started just like listening more / judge actions. If a guy doesn't tell me that he likes me and he's also not showing it, then I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm not about to hyper analyze you to figure out if you like me or not. Like, no, you like me, then act like it and tell me. Communicate. That's like number one thing I look for. So if a guy isn't willing to tell me that he likes me, then I already know you're not too good at communication. You know, like do something ballsy. Like be nervous and still go for it. That's what I like. So I don't really pay much attention to like who likes me anymore. I just go based off what someone tells me and what actions that they have. Do you want kids and how many? I want a big family. I love my family. I think family's super important. I'm very family oriented. I want to be with someone who's family oriented. I want like 4 or 5 kids. If I could choose, I'd want 4 boys and a girl, because I have 4 brothers and I'm the only girl, and I love how I was raised and how I grew up. I was always outside, always hanging out with my brothers. Yeah, I'm really thankful that I got to grow up with 4 brothers. Advice on how to maintain high confidence even when people constantly bring you down. Fun fact, if someone is doing anything to try to bring you down, you know one fact for sure about them, and it's that they are too worried with what other people are doing that they're not focusing on what they're doing. Because whenever I'm taking the time to really devote time to myself, work on myself, and I'm my best self, I'm worried about what I'm doing, and the things that other people are doing do not matter. And that's my primary focus. I'm not even thinking about judging what someone else is doing. So remember that. Remember that they're trying to bring you down because you're up. And furthermore, use that as your fuel to keep moving forward, because no matter what, people are going to say something, so just do what you want. What's on your Christmas wish list? Okay, I don't really have anything that I'm asking for Christmas, but I am thinking about, at least not from my parents. Like my mom kept asking me what I wanted for Christmas, and I just didn't answer her because I don't like necessarily want them to spend that money on me as I've grown older. My Christmas gift would be them using their money on things that they want to use their money on for them. But my mom said that she got me something, so we'll see what she got. My guess as to what she might have gotten is an iPad, because it's the only thing I can think of that I've talked to her about wanting, but I've talked to her about it for like a year, and I wasn't talking to her about it in the way that I wanted her to get me one. I was talking about how I just wanted one and why I wanted one, and kind of trying to convince myself to get one, but I never ended up getting myself an iPad, and I still want one. And my last trip to Texas, I was telling her that I would love an iPad, and I was listing off all the things that I'd be able to do on it. She asked me for a few days what I wanted for Christmas, and I just was not answering those text messages, and then she said, never mind, I know what to get you. So I have a feeling it's either that, or the only other thing that I could think of that is my mom coded is like a pair of shoes. I don't know. iPad's the only one that I can think of. But if my mom doesn't give me an iPad, now I feel like I have to wait before I just like jump on a purchase for myself, because I'm like, I don't know what she's gonna get, and I don't want to like take away from her surprise towards me by getting myself something on accident that she might have gotten me. If I don't get an iPad, I'm gonna definitely buy myself an iPad for Christmas. And then I want to get the Jesus Bible. Honestly, I'll probably order that today. I need a wallet, so maybe a wallet. Kind of random, but I might merge the things that I want for Christmas into New Year's and like wait until like January 1st or 2nd to like go get myself these things, just as like a new chapter, a new year, start new. That's what I'm thinking about doing. I feel like that'd be a good idea, and it'd make for good content. Have you ever considered getting any more cosmetic procedures? So the only thing that I have is lip filler. I got my eyebrows microbladed like 3 years ago, maybe over 3 years ago now, more like 3.5 years ago, and I honestly probably wouldn't do it again. I haven't gotten it touched up or anything. I've just let it fade out, so it's not really there anymore. And then my lip filler, I haven't gotten touched up since I got that, which is also 3 years ago. No, I don't really want anything. For a little while, I wanted to get like the threads where it like lifts your face where your eyebrows are, like an eyebrow lift. I don't know. I'm not really worried about that right now. Ooh, I do want to get my boobs done, but I'm still like, a part of me is still holding back on that, but I feel like that's something that I'll end up doing at some point. I don't want like big boobs. I just have small boobs. I want to get like, right now I probably have like an A. I want to get like a B, you know, just like a size up, a little bit of cleavage. I don't want to get double D's because I just don't feel like that would look good on me, and it's not what I'm used to. I just want a little bit of accentuating going on, you know. But other than that, no, not really. I'm feeling pretty good. Have you ever gotten cheated on? Yes, I have. But like, honestly, like, it's whatever. I would never let it happen again, and it happened, and it just, like, it happened. I went through it, and I'm out on the other side. Top 3 country songs. I love that a lot of y'all ask for music things, especially because I feel like I make so much music related content. It's nice to know that y'all aren't boarded out by it. I'll play them, and we're gonna hit this joint too. Wait, I have to show y'all another song before I play this country song really quick. It's a roach. Gonna get you so high, it's gonna send you Top 3 country songs.
But I'd much rather be somewhere with you, like we did on the beach last summer. Somewhere with you. So baby, why don't we just dance down the hall, maybe straight up the stairs, bouncing off the wall. Girl, I just got started loving you. What can I say? I've never felt this way. Is it going good? You got your hands up, you're rocking in my truck.
A few more questions because I have to edit this video tonight and post it tonight. And I'm really tired, and I've low-key been filming this for the last 4 hours. That's how crazy it is, like BTS versus what y'all see. I want to make like a BTS styled video for how I do like transition videos on TikTok, how I do the people that understand what I'm trying to say are gonna understand what I'm trying to say, but like BTS of content creating all day and like how long it really takes in between clips and videos, all that good stuff. Thoughts on casual hookups. I don't have thoughts about what anyone else does, but for myself, I'm honestly not really a casual hookup gal. Like, one, I'm definitely not, I never talk about this stuff online. I don't know if we should talk about that. I'm not doing anything with anyone unless I really like them, not just how they look, but as a person, and could see myself with them. Not just like hook up with someone, but even just like be intimate with someone. It's not happening for me unless it's someone that I really like, or am with, or am talking to, or in a relationship with. Hope that wasn't TMI for the internet, but also like how to deal with burnout. I feel like the only way to move with burnout is force yourself, discipline yourself, but force yourself to do the things that you need to do, even though you don't feel like doing them and you're so burnt out. Because, and that's what I just did, and I kept pushing and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna see a light from this. Like, am I just gonna like stay burnt out now that I've been burnt out? And I pushed myself and kept pushing, and I'm finally back to normal after being burnt out. But it's because I kept pushing, and if I let the burnout get to me and I sat in it, then it was only going to delay the whole process. So the only way I think to deal with burnout is to just keep pushing, keep disciplining yourself, even though it's so hard and you're burnt out, because you will see the other side of it, hopefully sooner than later, but you will at some point. Some of these questions, this would be kind of fun to do this style video, but like take a shot if I don't want to answer and have y'all ask me risky questions. I should do that for vlogmas. Let me know if y'all like that idea. I think it'd be fun if I did with maybe like Matthew or something, we take a shot every time, like a do or drink type of thing. but like you either answer or you have to take a shot. What moment did you realize that you had moved on / got over your ex? I think the moment that I stopped telling myself that I hated him for everything that happened, the moment that I accepted that I do have love for him, maybe not in the same way that I did before, but I do have love for him to an extent and for the role that he played in my life, because I learned a lot of things that I needed to learn being in my first relationship. And once I accepted that I'm hurt because there's love there, instead of lying to myself, that's when I was able to like actually accept everything that happened and use it as a learning lesson to move forward, which I feel like is very important. Like to be able to let go of any animosity, any grudge, especially when you were done wrong and you were acting out of the most genuine best interest for that person. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes unfair things happen, but also there's so much to learn from those things. And control what you can control. I can't control what someone else does, but I can definitely control what happens moving forward. That's like my life motto. I know I've said it so many times during this video. Have you ever loved anyone before? Yes, I have. And I love people all the time. I'm a lover, like not just like I'm a lover girl and I love being in a relationship or I love whenever I'm in a relationship, but I love everyone all the time. And I try to make everyone feel that. Everyone that I meet, everyone I come across, because I feel like that's just something that's important to do in this generation, in this world, is to be a force of love rather than ignoring everyone and being lonely. How do you find time to be so responsive and show us so much gratitude while grinding? Honestly, I just make time because y'all are important to me and I feel like that's how it should go. I don't feel like it's fair for it to be a one-way street where I'm posting this content and like y'all are giving me likes and comments and views and taking time to watch what I'm up to or what I'm doing or what I have to say and caring about my opinion and understanding me or trying to understand me or etc. Like it's I genuinely care for y'all. I genuinely love y'all as people, as individuals, as a group, and I'm very grateful. And I feel like my thankfulness shows throughout the interactions that I have with y'all because I enjoy doing that, not because I feel like I have to. It doesn't feel like a job talking to y'all. Like y'all are just my friends and we talk every day and we're experiencing life together and we're learning and growing and just friends, you know? We're hanging out. In my head, these are like our FaceTime calls and it's like me FaceTiming my friends and telling them like what I got shopping today or what I ate today or what workouts I'm doing recently or anything, you know? What do you do on your days you're not feeling very productive? This will be my last question that I answer, but I can obviously make different parts to this and I definitely want to do more Q&As. It feels like an opportunity to, especially while doing vlogmas, it'd be nice to do these like once a week. Even just moving forward, it's an easy video to film. I can easily edit it, but also it's a way for us to like debrief about life lately. It's a way for me to give y'all updates on where I'm at right now. Maybe this video in a week, I'll have upgraded some of my thinking or gotten past a mental block that I was having that I talked about. You know what I mean? The first thing to do on days that you're not feeling productive is evaluate, do I need rest? Is this my body saying that I need rest or am I being lazy? Because there's a difference and rest is not laziness. Your body needs rest and you need to be able to have quiet sitting days, especially when you're so go, go, go all the time. I'm very go, go, go all the time, and whenever I deny myself rest, I start getting one, burnt out, and two, very tired, very lazy, and unproductive. But in reality, it's because I don't put enough time aside to give myself rest or let my body sit or take a nap or go to bed at a decent time. That's usually whenever I'm the least productive, is whenever I have a bad sleep schedule or I'm not using my time wisely, I'm sitting on my phone too much. So evaluate those parts of it and make a plan. But a lot of fixing anything in your life that has to do with like your problems or things that you do, all can be solved through self-awareness and through self-evaluation, like evaluating what are my habits, what am I doing every day, what are things that I want to work on, what are things that I notice about myself that I maybe have been lying to myself about or like trying to push to the side and act like it's not a big deal. Because once you solve those things, you're just a step closer to being the dream version of yourself, which I'm sure most of everyone's dream goal is to like be productive and successful and to like know their purpose or to be following their passions and purpose to a heightened level. But number one is I evaluate what I'm doing, because 10 out of 10 times me being non-productive has a reasoning, and the quicker that I figure out the reasoning for that, the quicker I can figure out a solution for how to get past that, which then will drive me forward back into a productive, consistent routine. Thank y'all so much for all the questions. It really surprised me. I'm already pretty far down the list, but y'all did the damn thing on Instagram. Like, this is actually insane. My Instagram is Reagan777. But seriously, thank y'all for keeping up with me. Like, isn't that actually insane? Like, what? I love y'all, and things are just starting to get good, and they're about to get a lot better. I'm not gonna say what's to come, but just know I'm about to take it to a different level soon. I don't want to say it out loud because apparently, just based off experience, every time that I say that I'm gonna do something, I don't end up following through with it. So I'm not gonna say it, and I'm just gonna do it. I love y'all so much. It's 8 p.m. right now. I'm about to go to bed. It's been so weird being consistent on YouTube. I know I'm not even at the level that I want to be at. I'd preferably be making a vlog each day, but I'm trying to figure out like a good timeline for me and routine for me to do that consistently while also having time to do other things throughout the day, because I don't want to spend all day filming for 6 hours and then editing for 12 and then my whole entire day is gone and then repeat. Content creating is my passion, so I want to find a way to be able to passionately do these things that I love to do via content while also being able to better myself and work on other goals of mine as well. You know, I don't want to just focus on one. I want to focus on all of them, and it's possible and doable. I just need to find a good routine. So what I was gonna do is I was going to, it's 8 p.m. right now, I was gonna like take off my makeup and sit down and edit this video. It usually takes me like 4 to 5 hours. Sometimes it takes me 7, sometimes it takes me 12 hours. Sometimes it takes me 2-3 days of editing for 12 hours. It really just depends on how long the video is, how much footage I have, what my creative vision is for the video, because sometimes I'll spend a lot of times doing more of like the edits rather than the rough cuts. Anyways, because I want to start being very smart, and I am usually, but as I said earlier, like at the beginning of this video, I was in a rut for like 3 weeks, living out of a suitcase and losing my routine and all of that. I've been waking up at like 8-9 a.m. recently. I want to wake up at like 5:30 a.m. 6. Y'all know me, like that's literally what my content was based around, was waking up at like 4:30 and 5:30 every morning and being super productive and doing a lot of shit throughout the day. I haven't been able to do that because I haven't been able to get up earlier than 8. Some days I've woken up at 12, you know? It's been a crazy ride the last few weeks. Like I had it, then I lost it, and then I was like, what the fuck? Like now I have to get it back. But I'm getting it back right now, and what I could do is stay up and edit this video. It'll help me more in the long run, even though I'll be another day late on vlogmas. If I go to bed right now after I take off my makeup and not worry about editing, I can wake up at 5:30 tomorrow because it's only 8, and I can have this video out before noon. So go to bed late, get the video out at like 1 or 2 a.m. and be tired and not wake up early tomorrow, or go to bed now, edit the video tomorrow, have more time to film more content, maybe get 2 vlogmas videos out tomorrow, and wake up early and be productive and get a lot of other things done too. I'm gonna go with this side. I love y'all so much. I'm trying to figure it out as we go, and I know it's taken a little bit while for me to figure out like the perfect routine, but thank you to everyone who's just putting your trust into me and patience, and for believing that I'm going to do it, because I am going to do it. I just trial and error. You got to figure out what works for you, and what worked for me 3 months ago obviously doesn't work for me now, which is okay, and that's a part of life, and that's the biggest thing that I'm learning right now. So bear with me while I figure out what's gonna work for me right now, this version of myself. We're constantly growing, and we're constantly having to like think outside of the box, and I've grown outside of the box of what I was 2-3 months ago. It's time for a bigger box. I love y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video.